Some people are just born lucky, or so it seems. But if you were born a Leo, it's not luck, it's a cosmic assignment. And that changes everything. From the very beginning, the universe placed something rare inside you. Not just fire, not just passion, but a divine roar meant to awaken the world. Maybe you've always felt it. That unexplainable energy, that silent pressure to lead to shine, to be more than everyone expects. And maybe you've also felt misunderstood. Called too much, too proud, too loud, too intense. But the truth is, you were never meant to be understood. You were meant to be remembered. Being born a Leo is not just a zodiac placement, it's a soul contract. And today you'll see why. Because I'm not just going to list 25 traits. I'm going to walk you through 25 sacred reasons the universe handpicked your soul to be born under the sun. Stay until the end. You'll never look at your Leo nature the same way again. Reason 1. Because the sun doesn't choose randomly, it chooses rulers. There's a reason the Leo sign is ruled by the sun, not the moon, not Mercury, but the sun, the source of life itself. That's not coincidence, it's cosmic design. When a soul is born under Leo, it's not because the stars happened to align that way. It's because the universe needed someone to carry fire, not as a weapon, but as a crown. And the sun, unlike the moon or the other planets, doesn't reflect anything. It radiates from within. Just like you, Leo, you don't reflect others' light. You are your own source. You don't borrow identity, you become identity. That's why people follow you. That's why your presence fills a room before you speak. Because your soul has been lit from birth by something ancient, something divine. Let me tell you something I discovered over years of reading thousands of natal charts, especially those of Leos. When someone is born with the sun, not just in Leo, but centered strongly in the chart, they often carry an unspoken sense of, I was meant for more. They might not say it. They might even hide it. But it's there, deep in the heart, like a golden thread stitched by the universe itself. Some fight it afraid of how big their light is. Some embrace it and lead others through darkness. But none of them are ordinary. This is what I want you to remember. The universe didn't place you in Leo by chance. It was a declaration, a spiritual calling. And that's why your life will never feel small. Because your soul was designed for something large. Your fire is not arrogance, it's inheritance. Not every sign was built to carry the sun, but you were. That alone is a blessing. Life lesson. When you feel like you're too much, remember, it's not that you're too loud. It's that others are not used to sunlight. And sunlight was never meant to whisper. It was born to shine. Comment if this resonates with you, Leo. Have you ever felt like your soul was made for something bigger? Let me know below. Reason 2. Because your ego is not your weakness, it's your armor. Let's clear something up right now. People love to say Leos are egotistical, proud, arrogant. But what they don't understand is this: your ego is not a flaw. It's your first line of spiritual defense. It's what allows you to walk into a room that doubts you and not shrink. It's what lets you speak up when others go quiet. It's the part of you that refuses to bow when the world demands your silence. Now, I'm not saying the ego is perfect. Every Leo has had to learn when to step back, when to listen, when to soften. But at its best, your ego is not a wall. It's a crown. It reminds you, I came here with something to offer. I came here for a reason. In a world that constantly tries to dim the light of the bold, your ego is the guardian of your flame. I've seen this over and over again in Leos, especially those raised in households where they were told to tone it down. Instead of vanishing, they built a suit of confidence around themselves just to survive. So no, your ego is not your downfall. It's the armor you forged in fire. And one day, when your soul feels safe enough, you'll take it off, not to become smaller, but to reveal what it was protecting all along: your essence. Life lesson. True spiritual growth isn't killing the ego. It's teaching it when to step aside and when to stand guard. Comment if you've ever been called too proud for simply knowing your worth. Let me know how you've made peace with your ego, Leo. Reason 3. Because the real you is not loud, it's ancient, royal, and aware. Let me tell you what most people get wrong about Leos. They think your power comes from being loud, from taking up space, from shining all the time. But here's the truth. The most powerful Leos I've ever met were the quiet ones. Not silent, just steady. They walked into a room and didn't need to announce anything, because they were the announcement. Why? Because real royalty doesn't shout. It radiates. And you, Leo, carry an ancient energy, something that existed long before this lifetime. You've ruled kingdoms in other eras. Your soul remembers what it's like to lead not from ego, but from wisdom. This is why you get frustrated when people try to teach you things you already know deep in your bones. It's not arrogance. It's memory. You're not loud because you crave attention. You're magnetic because you remember what it feels like to be whole. And even when you forget, that quiet strength inside you never does. Life lesson. The deepest Leo power isn't in your voice, it's in your presence. You don't have to prove anything when you already are the proof. Comment if you've ever walked into a room and felt people notice even before you spoke. Does your energy speak louder than words? Reason 4. Because you don't just love, you ignite people. When a Leo loves you, you don't just feel loved. You feel seen, you feel chosen, you feel like the most radiant version of yourself. Because Leo love doesn't come in half measures. It wraps around you like sunlight, like a spotlight, like a fire you didn't know you needed until it was warming your bones. But here's what most don't realize. When you love someone, Leo, you don't just support them, you activate them. You make them believe they can do more, be more, live louder. You pull people out of their shadows and into their own greatness. And yes, this kind of love can be intimidating because it demands presence. It demands truth. It demands being fully seen. Some people can't handle that. And when they walk away, they'll say you were too intense. But deep down, they'll always remember how alive they felt around you. That's the blessing of your heart, Leo. It doesn't just beat, it awakens others. Life lesson. Loving as a Leo means accepting that not everyone can handle the fire you offer. But the right ones will never want to live without it. Comment if you've ever loved someone so deeply they became more of themselves around you. Have you ever ignited someone just by being in their life? Reason 5. Because your love is fierce, healing, and dangerously loyal. When a Leo says I love you, it's not a phrase, it's a vow. And that vow doesn't come gently. It comes with fire. Loyalty for Leo is not a preference, it's a code. You don't just stay by someone's side, you fight for them. You defend them in rooms they never enter. You carry their name like armor. But here's the sacred part most miss. Your loyalty doesn't come from fear of being alone. It comes from honor. To you, love is not a game, it's sacred territory. And once you let someone in, they're family, until they betray that. Because here's the other side of this truth. When a Leo is betrayed, it's not just heartbreak, it's fire turned inward. You don't get cold. You burn, silently, painfully, completely. But even in the ashes, there's something holy. Because Leo never stays broken. You rebuild yourself with the same fire you once gave to others. And the next time you love, you do it wiser, sharper, even stronger. Life lesson. Your love doesn't destroy you, Leo. It teaches you the difference between loyalty and sacrifice. Have you ever loved someone past your own limits? Comment if you've ever had to reclaim your fire after giving it away too freely. Reason 6. Because heartbreak only teaches you how to rise louder. There's something strange about Leo pain. It doesn't end you. It evolves you. When others collapse after heartbreak, you roar back. Louder, clearer, sharper. You may fall, but you never stay down. You use every wound as material to build, to sharpen, to climb, and that's the real secret. The most powerful Leos I've ever worked with weren't the ones who never got hurt. They were the ones who got shattered and stood back up anyway, not out of spite, but because the fire in their chest refused to die. Your soul knows this truth. Setbacks don't shrink you. They awaken the next version of you. You come back with a new purpose, a clearer heart, a louder roar. And every time you rise, you teach someone else that they can too. Life lesson. Strength isn't about never falling. It's about what you choose to do after the fall. Comment if you've ever turned heartbreak into fuel. Let me know how you rose again louder than before. Reason 7. Because pain doesn't destroy you, it transforms you. Pain doesn't make you weaker, Leo. It turns you into someone the world hasn't met yet. There's a moment right after the worst kind of betrayal when the world expects you to disappear, to go quiet, to fold into yourself. And you do, for a while. You retreat. You go silent. People think you've changed. They whisper, "What happened to their fire?" But what they don't realize is your fire didn't go out. It went inward. You were rebuilding, reconnecting with the deepest parts of yourself. You were transforming. Because for Leo, transformation doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the shadows. The truest evolution of your soul happens when no one is watching. And when you return, you don't return the same. You return reborn. Life lesson. Pain is not your enemy. It's the forge where your next greatness is born. Have you ever gone silent, not because you gave up, but because you were becoming stronger? Comment if this sounds like your journey. Reason 8. Because your presence gives people permission to shine. There's something magnetic about you, Leo. People don't just admire you. They breathe easier around you. You have a way of making others feel seen even when you're not trying. Your courage gives others courage. Your confidence whispers to the insecure. You can stand tall too. I've seen it countless times. A Leo walks into a space and suddenly everyone else remembers who they are. You're not just a light, you're a mirror. You reflect people back to themselves, not in their flaws, but in their potential. And that is sacred. Because in a world that teaches people to shrink you, give them permission to take up space. You show them it's okay to laugh too loud, to dream too big, to walk like they matter. And sometimes, Leo, you forget that's a gift. You forget your presence does things. It awakens. It uplifts. It gives others a reason to believe. Life lesson. Your radiance isn't just for you. It's an invitation for others to remember their own light. Has anyone ever told you that your energy made them feel more alive? Comment. If you've ever unknowingly lifted someone just by being yourself. Reason 9. Because your energy inspires without even trying. Leo, you don't always know the effect you have on people. You think you're just being yourself, showing up, speaking truth, living fully. But others see it differently. To them, you are a reminder of what life could be. Unapologetic, passionate, real. You don't just walk into a room, you shift it. And it's not because you're trying to impress. In fact, your impact is strongest when you're not trying at all. It's in your laugh, the way you look people in the eye, the way you show up even when you're hurting, especially when you're hurting, because you carry a kind of resilience that people crave. They watch you take hit after hit and still keep your heart open, still keep leading, still keep giving, and that Leo is a blessing. Not just for you, but for everyone who has forgotten how to rise. Life lesson. Sometimes your example is the healing, even if no one says thank you. Has anyone ever told you that you made them braver just by existing? Comment if this has ever happened to you even when you didn't realize it. Reason 10. Because you set standards that pull others higher. Let's talk about your expectations, Leo. People call you demanding. They say your standards are too high, but they don't understand where that comes from. You hold yourself to an impossible standard because you know what greatness looks like. You feel it in your bones. And you want others to see that in themselves too. You're not demanding because you're difficult. You're demanding because you see potential. And here's the secret: people secretly want someone to expect more of them. They want someone to believe they can rise. You do that. Yes, sometimes it comes across as intensity. But beneath that is love, because you don't want people to settle for half-hearted lives. You don't want them to coast when they were born to soar. You set the bar high, not to judge others, but to invite them up. Life lesson: your standards are not a burden. They're a spiritual invitation to rise. Have you ever pushed someone to grow and later they thanked you for it? Comment if you've ever been the mirror someone needed to level up. Reason 11: because even the brightest light casts a shadow. Here's something people forget: even the sun casts darkness. Even the brightest flame can burn. Leo, your light is undeniable, but what they don't see is what it costs. There are nights you lie awake questioning your worth even after the applause, even after the achievements. There are moments when you walk into a room and shine so others feel seen, but go home feeling unseen yourself. That's the shadow side of being the light. You carry others, you uplift, you protect. But sometimes no one thinks to ask who's carrying you. And the truth is, you've learned how to carry yourself. But that doesn't mean you don't need rest, or softness, or someone who sees the real you, not just your glow. Life lesson: even kings and queens need space to take off the crown. Even fire needs time to replenish. Do you ever feel like people see your strength, but miss your struggles? Comment if this resonates with the side of you no one sees. Reason 12: because enough was never written into your soul. Leo, you were never built to settle. Comfort bores you. Mediocrity feels like a slow death. You crave expansion, growth, mastery, not because you're greedy, but because your soul remembers what it means to rise. Ever since you were young, there was this whisper inside you. You were meant for more. More than the small town, more than the limited job, more than the checkbox life. And maybe you've tried to ignore it, tried to fit in, tried to make peace with good enough. But it never lasts, because your fire wasn't born for containment. It was born for elevation. This doesn't mean you're never satisfied. It means your satisfaction lives in becoming, in evolving, in stretching, in touching the edges of who you could be again and again. Life lesson: your restlessness is not a flaw. It's a sacred reminder that your journey isn't over yet. Have you ever tried to settle only to feel your soul protest? Comment if this fire to grow has always lived inside you. Reason 13: because your spirit craves change and that keeps you alive. Routine is safe, but for you, Leo, routine is suffocating. You weren't made to live the same day twice. You need color, movement, evolution. That's why boredom doesn't just annoy you, it drains you. People may misunderstand this as restlessness, but it's more than that. Your spirit knows life is meant to be dynamic. And your fire, it thrives on oxygen. New ideas, new challenges, new experiences. This is why you're often the first to try something new. The one who takes the risk, who travels, who dares to imagine more. It's not because you're reckless, it's because you're alive. And if you're not growing, Leo, you start to dim. So when others settle, you expand. When others stay still, you move. That's not a flaw. That's a blessing. It's the force that keeps you lit when others burn out. Life lesson: your hunger for change isn't chaos, it's creation. And creation is what your soul came here for. Do you get bored easily, not because you're impatient, but because your soul craves expansion? Comment if this fire for newness lives inside you too. Reason 14: because even lions walk alone sometimes, and that's sacred. Leo, you love deeply. You're loyal, devoted, fierce in your connections. But there's another truth. You also walk alone. Not because you're unloved, but because sometimes your path requires it. You feel it in your chest. That strange ache when you're in a room full of people and still feel separate. That's not loneliness, that's calling. Lions don't always move in packs. Sometimes they disappear to heal, to grow, to hear their own roar again without the noise of the world. And you, Leo, have always known this. Even when others thought you were pulling away, you were actually pulling inward to reconnect with your flame. Don't fear that solitude. It's where your clearest insights live. It's where your next evolution begins. Life lesson. Sacred solitude is not a punishment, it's preparation. Do you ever crave time alone, not out of sadness, but because you need to hear your soul again? Comment. If your best growth came when you walked alone. Reason 15. Because your drive won't let you stop until it's done. You know that feeling, Leo, when a vision grabs your heart and won't let go. When an idea wakes you up at 3 a.m. and whispers, keep going. Others may quit halfway, but you finish. Because once your fire is lit, it refuses to be extinguished until it becomes real. This drive is not something you chose. It chose you. It can make you relentless, stubborn, even exhausted. But it's also the reason you've created what others only dream about. Whether it's building a business, protecting your family, mastering your craft, you pour your entire being into it. Not because you're trying to prove anything, but because your soul can't rest until the work is done. And when it is done, you light another fire, because that's who you are. Life lesson. Your perseverance isn't obsession. It's purpose refusing to die. Have you ever stayed committed to something long after others gave up? Comment if your drive has ever shocked even you. Reason 16. Because your presence alone can heal a broken room. Leo, you don't always have to say much. Sometimes just being there is enough. You walk in and suddenly, people feel steadier, seen, braver. It's in the way you sit upright, the way your eyes meet theirs, the way your silence doesn't feel cold but safe. You don't even realize it, but your energy carries weight. And in that weight is comfort, strength, permission to feel, permission to believe again, permission to be bold. There are people who didn't know they needed healing until you showed up. And without touching them, without preaching, you reminded them what inner fire feels like. This is not something you were taught. It's something you are. Life lesson. Sometimes the greatest healing isn't in the words, but in the energy you bring into the room. Has anyone ever told you they felt better just by being around you? Comment if your presence has ever spoken louder than words. Reason 17. Because your self-control is a form of quiet power. People often mistake your passion for recklessness, but what they miss is your restraint. Leo, you may burn bright, but you are not impulsive. When pushed, you pause. When insulted, you measure. When the world expects a roar, sometimes you whisper instead. That's not weakness, that's mastery. Because the strongest lions don't always fight. They choose when and how to engage. And you, Leo, have learned this through experience. You've seen how words can build or destroy. You felt the regret of speaking too soon. And you've grown into someone who knows timing is power, silence is power, composure is power, and that Leo is one of your greatest blessings. Life lesson. True strength isn't loud, it's disciplined. And you, Leo, were built to lead with grace, not chaos. Have you ever held your fire, not out of fear, but out of wisdom? Comment if you've learned to master your emotions with intention. Reason 18. Because you compete to evolve, not to destroy. Let's be honest, Leo, you love to win. But not because you want to crush others. You compete because you want to grow. For you, excellence is sacred. You aim high not to boast, but because your soul demands the best of you. When others stop at good enough, you keep going. When others are satisfied, you're still refining. It's not ego, it's evolution. You understand that the real opponent isn't outside, it's within. You race your old self. You battle your past patterns. You rise to meet the future version of you. And every time you push further, you pull others with you. That's leadership. That's legacy. Life lesson. Your desire to be the best is not about domination. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. Do you find yourself striving not out of comparison, but out of purpose? Comment. If your biggest competition has always been your former self. Reason 19. Because your pride protects what's sacred inside you. Ah yes, the infamous Leo pride. People talk about it like it's a flaw. But what if I told you it's your shield? Because deep beneath that pride is something soft, something sacred, something that's been wounded before. Your pride is not arrogance, it's preservation. It's the voice that says, no, you don't get to mistreat me. No, you don't get to dim my light. It guards your dignity, your heart, your fire. And while, yes, there are moments when it might rise too quickly, there are more moments when it saved you from being trampled. You're not proud because you think you're better. You're proud because you fought too hard to become who you are, and you're not going to apologize for that. Life lesson. Pride, when balanced with heart, becomes self-respect. And self-respect is a spiritual boundary. Have you ever been judged for standing tall when others wanted you small? Comment if your pride has protected your light. Reason 20. Because when you love yourself, you become unstoppable. Here's the final transformation, Leo. You've loved others. You've fought for them. You've poured yourself out again and again. But the moment everything changes is when you finally turn that love inward. When you stop waiting to be chosen and choose yourself. When you stop apologizing for who you are and start celebrating it. Because here's what they don't tell you, a Leo who loves themselves is unshakable. You become grounded. You become magnetic. You become free. And no, it doesn't happen all at once. It's a journey. A battle between the inner critic and the royal soul. Between the doubt and the destiny. But when you arrive, when you really see yourself, nothing can stop you. Nothing. Life lesson. The greatest revolution in a Leo's life begins the moment they choose themselves without guilt. Have you ever looked in the mirror and decided, this version of me is enough? Comment. If you're learning to love yourself louder every day. Reason 21. Because you don't just live, you leave legacies. Leo, you were never meant to just pass through this life. You were meant to imprint it. Whether it's in your career, your art, your family, or your presence, you leave something behind. Not everyone does, but you can't help it. You speak and people remember. You love and people grow. You create and the world shifts. And the thing is, you often don't see it. Because while you're busy trying to do more, be more, give more, your legacy is already growing behind you. Every time you chose courage instead of comfort. Every time you lit the way for someone else, you were writing something eternal. This is your gift and your responsibility, because your life is not just your own. It's a spark for someone else's fire. Life lesson. Your legacy isn't built in one moment. It's built in every decision to show up fully, fiercely, and with heart. Have you ever been surprised to learn someone was inspired by you? Comment. If you know your life is meant to leave a mark. Reason 22. Because your light makes people believe again. In a world full of noise, distraction, and doubt, you walk in and something shifts. It's not because you're perfect. It's because you're real. When you show up as yourself, not dimmed, not small, not hiding, you give people permission to believe again. In love, in passion, in power, in themselves. Leo, your light doesn't just illuminate, it awakens. It tells people you can rise again, you can burn brighter, you can come back from anything. And the truth is, some of the people you've healed will never tell you, but they'll never forget you, because your fire reminded them of their own. Life lesson. Your light isn't meant to be understood, it's meant to be felt. Has anyone ever told you that you helped them believe in themselves again? Comment if your presence has ever sparked someone else's healing. Reason 23. Because you were never meant to blend in. You were born to wake up the world. You've tried, haven't you, to blend in, to play small, to be less so others could feel more comfortable. And every time you shrunk a little inside, because that's not who you are. Leo, you were not born to blend. You were born to blaze, to be the first voice in a quiet room, to be the only one who says, I believe we can do better, to be the spark that disrupts the dull. And sure, that makes people uncomfortable. It makes you misunderstood. But you weren't sent here for approval. You were sent here for awakening. And every time you choose to be fully yourself, you shake something awake in someone else. You remind them they're allowed to live loudly too. Life lesson: you don't have to change the whole world. You just have to wake up the part of it that crosses your path. Have you ever stopped trying to fit in and started living like you were born to stand out? Comment if you've made peace with being different. Reason 24, because the universe loves you loud, flawed, and whole. Leo, you've spent a lot of your life wondering if you were too much, too intense, too emotional, too confident, too driven. But what if I told you that's exactly how the universe designed you? You weren't made for moderation. You were made for movement. You weren't made to be neutral. You were made to be noticed. And yes, there are flaws. There are wounds. There are days when the fire feels more like a burden than a blessing. But still, the universe loves all of it. Your loud laugh, your broken heart, your comeback story, your roar. You are not loved despite your complexity. You are loved because of it. Life lesson: you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You just have to be you. Have you ever embraced all parts of yourself, even the ones others didn't understand? Comment if you're learning to be loved in your wholeness. Reason 25, because you were born a Leo, and that changes everything. Let's end where we began. You were born under the sun, ruled by fire, called to lead, to love, to light the way. That was never a coincidence. It was a cosmic decision. Your soul didn't pick an easy path. It picked a divine one, a path of growth, glory, shadow, strength, heartbreak, and healing. A path that demands courage and rewards you with meaning. You are not like the rest, and you were never supposed to be. You're a Leo, and that changes everything. Life lesson: being born a Leo is not just an identity. It's a spiritual flame. Protect it. Nurture it. Let it rise. So now you know, being born a Leo was never about ego. It was about assignment. The universe didn't place you here to be liked by everyone. It placed you here to wake people up, to remind the world what it means to be alive, to feel, to love, to lead, to shine. And maybe somewhere along the way, you forgot. Maybe the world dimmed your flame. Maybe someone told you that your power was too much. Maybe heartbreak made you question your fire, or silence made you doubt your roar. But hear me clearly, you were never meant to hide. You were never meant to shrink. You were never meant to live quietly. You were born under the sun for a reason, and now you remember, this wasn't just a list of 25 blessings. It was a return to your flame, a return to your soul, a return to the truth. That being born a Leo is not just beautiful, it's divine. If something inside you awakened during this journey, type it in the comments, I remember who I am, and subscribe to the Royal Flame of Leo. Because this is not just a channel, it's where your fire belongs.